Welcome to Boy Party, the podcast that tackles cinema's most legendary team-ups, films where two or more major stars shared the screen and battled it out for screen time, top billing, the fatter paycheck, and the most acclaim. Every week, myself and Shane will be discussing movies that gave audiences two for the price of one on Legends of the Silver Screen, and we'll be delving into dueling star personas, a bit of behind-the-scenes drama, and the ultimate quest for box office, Oscars, and cinematic dominance. And don't worry, we are discussing actors of all genders from week to week because girls are invited to the Boy Party and gender is a construct. And you'll see this week we have a male star and a female star, and Boy Party is incredibly fluid as an idea. My name is Lucien, and I'm joined by my fellow veteran of podcasts, including Adam and Ben, new and selected. Hello, Shane.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Shane. How are you getting on?
Not too bad. Pretty good. It's been a good week since our last episode.
It has been a good week. We've done a bit of cleaning in the kitchen. Yeah. Showered.
Did some laundry.
Did some laundry.
And
that was our whole week. And now we're here to talk about 2017's The Post. What do you think The Post was called in France?
Le newspaper.
Le
newspaper face.
Or La Papier. I forget that IMDb does give you a list.
Is that racist? Can I do a French accent?
You can never be racist against the French.
Yes, that's what
I think the French, the Germans, the English, South African, white South Africans, Dutch, Australian, I don't know. They all the people you're allowed to be racist towards.
Okay.
The Irish, if we're being honest.
Yeah.
The Irish a little bit. If you're a friend, you know.
Yes.
I am going to quickly try and find out what
Conan O'Brien on the Late Late Show, racist or not?
Not racist.
No.
Well, he's Irish enough that he's allowed. It can be not
the name stuff.
We can find it unfunny, but anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, in France, the film was called Pentagon Papers. Interesting.
Okay,
that's a good name. I don't know.
The Post is better.
I think The Post is a terrible name.
Really?
I think The Post is such a boring name.
It's boring, but it's like
Post. It was going to be called The Papers until about 6 months before it came out, and they changed it to The Post. I think The Post is better than The Papers. I think Pentagon Papers. The problem is that Pentagon Papers only works in France. You got to put an article in front of it otherwise.
Yeah. In
France, they can just be calling shit Pentagon Papers without a the or a or
like
an.
This entire film has a complete aura of like, this is the most important, this is the most significant film of the last 10 years. And it's just not.
No, it's not at all.
So like giving it a name like The Post, where it's like,
yes,
this is the defining thing you're referred to as The Post.
Yes.
Like, I don't know.
In Germany, it was called Die Verlegerin. That probably just means the papers.
Sure,
whatever. In Croatia, it was called Novine. Novine. That's kind of cool.
Okay.
Sounds like a Billie Eilish song. The movie today, ladies and gentlemen, The Post. It's a Steven Spielberg picture as written by Liz Hannah with a rewrite by Josh Singer, and it stars two of the essential actors, movie stars, most regarded faces of American cinema of all time, Meryl Streep and Tom Hanks. Streep Hanks, The Post. I think we're going to start with the poster for this one because the poster is the best thing about it.
Oh, it's astounding.
So, ladies and gentlemen, get out your phones and Google The Post 2017 poster. And we're talking about the one with the stairs on it. This is the steps of the Supreme Court. And it is massive Helvetica lettering with 40% opacity setting. Yeah. Streep Hanks. And then lower down, The Post.
Yeah.
You got the back of their heads walking up those stairs.
Mm-hmm.
And then December 22nd is written in like a little kind of cursive font down in the corner.
Yeah.
One of my favorite movie posters of the last 25 years. No question. A poster so good that when it was released, I got it printed on A4 paper in the DCU library. Stuck it up on my bedroom wall.
Very nice.
And it was there for about a year.
That's great.
Great poster.
Got the whole looks like redacted text.
Yeah.
Image to it.
Oh, it literally looks like redacted text. It's got this imperial majesty of the American justice system. Yeah. It looks kind of like a stack of newspapers or like a side of a book.
Like the steps are kind of in the color of the font of a newspaper.
They are. The two actors have incredibly iconic silhouettes.
They do.
And like Streep Hanks is just such a fucking...
It's bigger than the name of the poster.
It's bigger than the name of the movie.
Or the name of the movie.
It is such a fuck you to only have the surnames of your actors.
Oh, yeah.
It is so few films that can get away with that. I feel like Face Off, I think, is one where it's just Cage Travolta.
Pitt DiCaprio could have got a...
Pitt's a weird one, right?
It is a weird one because his name's
too short.
Yeah.
I feel like you gotta call him Brad Pitt. I feel
Brad
like
Pitt.
Streep and Hanks.
Even though Streep is one syllable as well.
Like,
kinda.
it'd be funny. Okay, this joke doesn't work because Merle's daughters are called Marnie and Mamie the Gummers.
Yeah.
But if let's pretend that her daughter's surname is Streep.
Sure.
And you advertised the movie Streep Hanks and turned out to be like Grace Gummer and Colin Hanks or fucking Chet Hanks, that would be pretty funny. But yeah, Streep Hanks is such a total flex, and it is kind of the movie's only flex that it has. Bar it's 50 of the greatest actors of the last generation are in it. John Williams did the score. Spielberg directed it. It looks incredible, and it is a little on the dull side, and maybe a little on the Hollywood liberals think that they can change the world making a movie about the 1960s when in fact it's just kind of a historical.
Yeah, like the film itself is kind of like the most irrelevant part of this.
Yeah.
Like it's based on a true event, so if you're interested in the event, you just look that up.
Yeah. It's weird that no one made a film about the Pentagon Papers stuff.
Yeah.
Like there was obviously All the President's Men, which is about the events that take place directly after this.
Yeah.
There's a million movies about Watergate. This movie ends with a teaser of Watergate, which is idiotic.
So silly.
The last fucking line in the movie is a cop,
somebody's breaking into the
cop
Watergate.
being like, excuse me, there's a break-in at the Watergate. Very stupid. But the movie is like fine. It's like, this is a film that could have been made any time from 1970 until now.
Yeah.
It was made 6 months after Donald Trump was elected, and it was made as a direct response to that. And knowing that makes it a very hard film to like because it is so up its own hole in terms of what it is intended to achieve.
Sure.
Like, this film is such an arrogant notion of, we'll make a movie about the 60s and it will be a statement. God damn you, Donald Trump. You know, it's just like such shallow, hollow political action. It's like Steven Spielberg could be donating millions of dollars to fight Trump through political causes. And instead he's like, what if I made a movie and won a load of Oscars? And it was just like,
I'd rather he did that.
Yeah,
I'd rather he give money to Carrie Coon and David Cross.
I guess so. Like, if he's going to give money to anyone, give it to Carrie Coon and David Cross. But I just feel like honestly, here's an interesting parallel. I saw David Cross do stand-up comedy in 2018, 6 months after this movie came out.
Yeah.
His stand-up set was terrible. It was really bad. It was Trump humor.
Yeah.
Donald Trump, what a stupid guy. Oh, his face is orange, this shit. And like, it was like the kind of same as this movie. It was like David Cross thinks that he's a radical. And in fact, this is completely pointless. It is Hillary Clinton leftism. And this movie chooses to focus, and this didn't occur to me at the time, but with some hindsight, this movie chooses to focus on Meryl Streep's character as the linchpin of this story. Not because she was the most important person in this narrative, because I don't really think she was, but because she is the person in it that most resembles
the people making it.
The people making it, who are Hollywood executives, and the fantasy Hillary Clinton presidency that they had just seen vanish before their eyes.
Yeah.
And this film is almost like fan fiction for a kind of a middle-aged, white, sort of coastal elite lady who is very bright and very accomplished and has this great vision for what America should be about.
Yeah.
And it is a little bit too close to the Hillary Clinton fantasy to not feel like they are just playing with their dolls, crying about the fact that Trump won.
Yeah, like the entire plot of this film is that like you have these two institutions that got along for so long, and then this one thing happens.
Yeah.
And like, oh no, what can I not be friends with them anymore?
Exactly.
The papers can't be friends with the Nixon administration, and the Democrats can't be friends because Trump.
Yeah, it's like the most high stakes thing in the film almost is the idea that Meryl Streep can't be friends with
Robert McNamara.
With Robert McNamara, and it's like only Spielberg and his buddies could think that is a serious question in a political crisis. Is me and my rich
like that's the
friends
biggest point of
out.
conflict in the film.
Yeah, literally, it is. We barely see any of what's happening in Vietnam. There's almost no evidence of suffering that's going on of either the American soldiers or of the Vietnamese people.
I guess it's implied. We've seen
it's implied, I know. But it really does seem like Meryl Streep's life is the hardest of them all because she can't be friends with right-wing politicians and she might have to choose telling the news over her social circle.
And also there's our whole thing of like integrity of the government. We don't want to like bring them down by publishing bad things about them. Like there's that whole
and it's
integrity of institutions.
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. It's interesting in that it is one of the only films that I can name where you say, if the 2016 election had gone the other way, there is no way this film would exist. We have this as a direct consequence of November 2016. That's interesting to me.
Yeah.
What's even more interesting is that it comes out exactly a year later and it was made so fucking fast.
Yeah.
So as of January 2017, when Trump is inaugurated, Spielberg did not know he was making this movie.
Yeah.
He was making this movie called The Kidnapping of Edgardo Mortara, which is about this whole thing with the Pope, and there's a kid who's kidnapped, and it was meant to star Mark Rylance as the Pope, and the kid was going to be the main character, and Spielberg could not find a kid he wanted to play this role. He was impossible casting, couldn't find anyone, just abandoned the movie entirely. So he decided in March 2017 to direct The Post. He was in post-production on Ready Player One, which was coming out in March 2018, and basically had a year's worth of VFX work to be done on it, because that film is like 80% animated. And he was like, fuck it, I'm going to go make something else while they're doing that. So Hanks and Streep get attached in March 2017, and then in June 2017, so this is a script by Liz Hannah that was acquired in 2016 by Amy Pascal, and then in June 2017 they announce that they've started filming, and they've cast Alison Brie, Carrie Coon, David Cross, Bruce Greenwood, Tracy Letts, Bob Odenkirk, Sarah Paulson, Jessie Plemons, Matthew Rhys, Michael Stuhlbarg, Bradley Whitford, and Zach Woods. A cast that still feels to me like a fever dream.
Yeah.
Because
it was insane at the time. You were calling this out to me, and I was like,
that is a list of my 10 favorite actors as of May and June 2017. Literally, they got someone from Leftovers, they got someone from Community, they got someone from Arrested Development, they got Stuhlbarg, they got someone from The West Wing, they got Bob Odenkirk, they got fucking someone from Silicon Valley. Like, that's all the shows I was watching in 2017. Yeah. It's insane. The film filmed over the summer 2017. It was finished being cut on November 6th, 2017. And it came out in America December, and I saw it in January. Like, unheard of fast turnaround. Completely insane.
Yeah.
So, considering that it was rushed, it is incredibly functional, and it is incredibly pretty looking, and doesn't seem like it was made in a hurry or as a mess. But
no, it's very competent.
But it's also inessential, I feel, especially given
that's kind of the way to describe it.
High aspirations. Like, you do not leave this film feeling any more motivated to go out and fight Trumpism than you would have before.
Like, what are similar films?
I don't know. Anything. JFK, I guess. All the President's Men.
Yeah.
Any of Sorkin's unscripted or nonfiction stuff, I guess, a little bit. I'm trying to think of other, like, historical, political stuff.
Do you think this is a very safe film?
Yeah, it is. It's so safe, but that's because it's from the perspective of really, like, it's coming from a real elite perspective, I feel like. I feel like the people who made this film and the people in this film are not in any real danger at any point. I don't know. But yeah, it doesn't take any risks. Anyway, Streep Hanks. So Meryl Streep and Tom Hanks have kind of been rotating around each other, like two planets in orbit, as two of the big sort of prestige stars since their emergence in the 80s. But this is the first time they're ever in a movie together. So Hanks is looking at a $9 billion box office as a leading man.
Incredible.
And another $1.5 billion as a lead ensemble member. I don't know what that would include, but his biggest hits, the Toy Stories, Da Vinci Code, Forrest Gump, The Simpsons movie. Well, that doesn't count. That doesn't count.
Surely that would fall under ensemble, no?
Yeah, I don't know what that would fall under. Angels and Demons, Saving Private Ryan, Cast Away. Streep's box office, $2.9 billion, pretty good. Biggest hits being Mamma Mia.
Well, Margot Robbie's passed her out already, so.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
She's just never been in a Barbie-sized film.
No, or Toy Story types even.
Her biggest hits are Mamma Mia 1 and 2, Mary Poppins Returns, The Devil Wears Prada, Out of Africa, Artificial Intelligence, which she has a tiny role in. It's complicated. I mean, it's complicated is a Meryl Streep vehicle.
Yeah.
So the fact that made $224 million is sort of the best. I'd say her quote went up a lot after that, I would imagine, because the other people in that are Steve Martin and Alec Baldwin, who are hardly A-listers. Hanks has, of course, got 2 Academy Awards that he won in consecutive years, which would be so insane if it happened now.
Oh, incredible.
94 and 95, Philadelphia, Forrest Gump. It's crazy that one of those performances is like incredibly mannered and beautiful in Philadelphia, and then Forrest Gump is, it is what it is. We all have our opinions on that film and that performance, but it is silly and it is over the top.
But do you think that helped him win the second one, the fact that it was so different?
But he won the second one second. Oh, yeah, but you think Forrest Gump being second, people were just amazed by it? Like Forrest
Yeah,
Gump
it was like it was
later
such a
one.
detachment that they were like,
I guess
okay, this
so.
is different enough that it doesn't feel like we're just repeating.
This is like if Cillian Murphy won an Oscar this year for Philadelphia,
Yeah.
and then next year he was in a Forrest Gump type movie and won again. It would be insane. Meryl Streep has him pipped with 3 Oscars.
Oof.
1980 supporting actress for Kramer versus Kramer, 83 best actress for Sophie's Choice, and 2012 for The Iron Lady. Big gaps between her Oscar wins. Like that's
more impressive nearly.
2 in the early 80s and then 1 in 2012. And then you kind of have to assume she'll get another one. Just an insane.
Did she get a nomination for this?
She did. Just an insane number of nominations for Meryl Streep. Nominated for The Deer Hunter, The French Lieutenant's Woman, Silkwood, Out of Africa, Ironweed, A Cry in the Dark, Postcards from the Edge, The Bridges of Madison County, One True Thing, Music of the Heart, Adaptation, The Devil Wears Prada, Doubt, Julie and Julia, August Osage County, Into the Woods, Florence Foster Jenkins, and The Post. Taking the piss.
So that's her most recent one.
Yeah. Taking the piss.
Yeah.
She loses that year to Frances McDormand for 3 Billboards. Also nominated Margot Robbie in Once Upon a Time. I Tonya. Exactly. So The Post has a budget of $50 million. Pretty good.
Checks out.
Yeah. Grosses $180 million worldwide. And
it's good success for 6 months' work.
It was nominated for Best Picture and Best Actress, and that was all, which is very odd.
Interesting.
No script, no director, no Hanks, no costume, production design, music. Very odd.
Bizarre.
Very unusual for a talky political film to be nominated for Best Picture and not for Best Screenplay. And I think it just is a combination of...
I kind of agree with that. I don't think the
agree
script
with it,
is...
Yes. It's better directed than it is written.
In parts.
Yes.
Like,
and
when this is good, it's great.
Yeah, but I don't think the writing
far between.
I don't think the writing is ever that great.
No.
I think the really things we liked about it were the 70s kind of style directing choices where it zooms in on somebody, or there's lots of running with no music. There's the scene where the newspapers are flying away.
Like it does give the vibe of like the 70s espionage.
Yeah,
film.
and like Spielberg is bringing all of that.
Yeah.
I don't think that the script had any of that in it. So...
Sorry, I think that's probably the point I think that's what I'm missing with this.
But I feel like...
I think the script is just safe. It's like the blank template of what this should be.
And you fill it up
with
the
bare minimum.
You pump good actors into it.
Yeah.
And it's almost as if Spielberg knew that the script wasn't great, but it was more important to him to get the movie done quickly. So he just said, Josh Singer, spend 2 weeks on that, make it more like Spotlight. And then Spotlight's another film like this, obviously. And then we'll just go and get the best actors in the world to like pump it up into something really good.
That's kind of disappointing in a sense, because if this had a great script, this could be like an all-timer.
Yeah, like if they spent 2 more years on the script and really honed it, and they got the best writers of this type of film to come in.
Yeah, it's just there's no
and you had
there's
these
no
actors?
sense that Spielberg thought that this was like going to be one of his.
Yeah, exactly. There's something disposable about it.
Yeah.
That the rushed production does kind of back up. Liz Hannah, who wrote this film, this is her first feature credit, which is crazy. She had, quote, an internship on the production of 2007 film Reign Over Me with Adam Sandler.
Oh, that
which is really
right.
interesting. That's when she's like a student, like.
Yeah.
This was her first
See
feature.
where these people's influences are coming from.
Yep. This is her first feature film. Weirdly, she did get a Golden Globe nomination for it, even though the Golden Globes only have half as many screenplay nominees as the Oscars do.
What?
Because they do adapted and original all in one. She loses to Martin McDonagh. I mean, what a category. The nominees: Martin McDonagh, Greta Gerwig, Aaron Sorkin, her, Guillermo del Toro, and she loses out. So no, I think she's happy.
That's
she's happy with that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Her next film then was this film. Oh, sorry, she wrote Long Shot with Seth Rogen and Charlize Theron, which is really good.
That was after this.
Yeah, a future Boy Party episode potentially.
Yeah,
she wrote that, which is a comedy, but also set in the world of journalism and political journalism. And then she wrote a movie called All the Bright Places, which is like a teen movie, and now she's writing some 9/11 thing called The Only Play in the Sky, and she's working on a mini series called Mercury 13 about space travel with Bradley Whitford for Amazon, and she's going to be the showrunner of that. And
good for her.
She's working away. Oh, and she wrote 3 episodes of The Girl from Plainville and 2 episodes of Mindhunter. Nice career.
Pretty good.
Happy for her. I think she's friends with some podcast people I listen to. I've heard nice things about her.
Yeah.
Well done to her. Her script's not very good. You know, it was her first. It was her first film. No one's first film should get made with fucking Tom Hanks.
Sorry,
Meryl Streep.
yes,
It's
your
ridiculous.
first film being made by Steven Spielberg with the most outrageous
insane,
cast
like,
ever.
Of course, it's going to be underwhelming, like for us. So Meryl Streep plays the owner of the paper, Catherine Graham, and she's the sort of widow of this media mogul who's died.
Yeah.
Her husband's killed himself. People kind of talk about his death in weird, awkward ways in the film. And she's basically running the paper now, and she means business. She's very serious.
But there's a general lack of confidence about her.
Lack of confidence. She's constantly being shouted down by rooms full of loud men. So she's walking into rooms. Bradley Whitford is like, Catherine, you gotta stop that's a lady's opinion. And then she's at dinner parties with all these important men, and they're like, ladies, we don't want to bore you, time to leave. And all the women get up and go talk about fashion.
Yeah, and like the very first scene we see her
in,
in, she's like preparing for a meeting with the bankers that are about to take the company public, and she just freezes up.
Yes. So she is.
Talk. So there is
she's an intelligent woman who has been pushed into subservience by being surrounded by men 100% of the time.
I thought that beginning scene was a bit strange given the rest of the film, because she seems like a perfectly confident public speaker.
There's inconsistencies in the script, I think, with the characters that make these characters very weakly drawn and really are just relying on the actors.
Jump between their development rather instantly. It's not like kind of noticed.
Yeah. And basically she sort of like, you know, gets her backbone by the end of the film and is like, we need to publish these papers and risk being done for treason and all of this stuff that comes with leaking documents.
Yeah, like the entire film is you have Hanks on one side saying, publish it, do it. And then is Bradley Whitford on the other side is like...
Bradley Whitford is the ultimate, like, don't do anything. We don't want to piss off the shareholders.
Jessie Plemons is the lawyer. He's like, don't do it.
And then Bruce Greenwood is Robert McNamara.
Yeah.
So Hanks then plays Ben Bradley, who was the managing editor of the Washington Post. And he's an interesting guy. God, he looks like Dick Van Dyke. He's got an interesting story within the film where he's kind of like, I was friends with Jack Kennedy. I was with him 3 days before he died. And Jack was never a source, you know? He's a guy who's obviously in with the Democratic president.
The idea is that he's being a hypocrite saying Meryl Streep should sell out McNamara when he wouldn't sell out the Kennedys.
Yeah, exactly. So these are two people running a newspaper who have really strong ties, obviously, to the highest levels of American government. It's not a million miles away from how these papers are run now.
No,
you were saying this is Jeff Bezos now, and it's like, and I feel
Jeff
like
Bezos absolutely gives nice treats to the...
Exactly. Jeff Bezos has this relationship with, maybe not with Biden, but he has this relationship with a lot of probably both Democrat and Republican politicians that he wants to schmooze with because they'll let him not pay tax and, you know, have slaves.
And you're like, I'll write nice things about you in the paper.
Exactly. So, like, the way newspapers are... And sure, it's Succession is full of this stuff. Yeah. Where it's different because it's TV instead of newspapers, but, like, the way
that... little pandering and giving treats to your
way that the news networks are run in the newsroom and in Succession and in real life are very much similar to this. So, Streep is nominally the main character... And like she is the main character, and like it's similar to our last episode where, you know, it was DiCaprio Pitt. You couldn't really argue Tom Hanks should get first billing on this because she's just in it a good bit more.
Yes, and the whole point of the conflict revolves around her. Yeah. It's her choice to make in the film.
And Tom Hanks being in it is like he's like the co-lead, but only because he's Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
Like if Tom Hanks's role was played by Bradley Whitford. Or one of the men in the cast who isn't
like he's
Tom
kind
Hanks.
of an equivalent to Brad Whitford in terms of character.
Yeah, they just put him in it more because it's Tom Hanks. You need to get use out of him. Now, this film comes at an interesting moment for Tom Hanks that, well, I find interesting, where he basically starts doing a bunch of supporting roles, or not really supporting roles, but he starts being second billed in a lot of films. And this starts with Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close, where he might be first billed, but he's certainly, he is, but he's not the main character. That's a film about a young boy, and Tom Hanks and Sandra Bullock play the parents. Mm-hmm. And it is not, the plot only revolves around Tom Hanks in the sense that he, spoiler alert, jumps out of the Twin Towers on 9/11, and the boy is traumatized by it, okay? Yes. 2013, he's in Saving Mr. Banks, and that is a movie where the cast list goes Emma Thompson, Tom Hanks, Paul Giamatti. So he's Disney in that movie, and I would say that movie has a very similar dynamic. Very much a boy party episode coming down the tracks. Very similar dynamic to this, where P.L. Travers is the author of Mary Poppins. She's the lead, and then Walt Disney is this sort of guy who's nagging at her. Mm-hmm. And it's a similar dynamic to Meryl and him in this.
Yeah.
And then he does The Circle with Emma Watson, where he's second billed. And that's a movie where he kind of plays evil Tim Cook, I suppose. I was going to say evil Steve Jobs, but
Sorry, The Circle's terrible.
The Circle's terrible.
It's really bad.
And it's Tom Hanks in kind of a supporting role. Then he does this, and then he does A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, where he's first billed, but he's submitted to the Oscars in supporting actor.
Okay.
He plays Mr. Rogers, but that movie is about Matthew Rhys, who is in The Post,
Yeah.
and it's about him as a journalist going and interviewing Mr. Rogers.
Yes.
So Mr. Rogers is not, it's not from his perspective. And then he's in the fucking Pinocchio shitty remake that Zemeckis does, where he plays Geppetto, and he's not the lead of that. The puppet is.
Yeah.
And then he's in Asteroid City, where he's sort of the third lead after Schwartzman and Johansson. So he's decided to let himself alternate now between lead and supporting roles, which is a really interesting decision, and I love when actors of his status do that. Sorry, I've completely forgotten. Elvis.
Yes.
Elvis, ultimate case of that.
Yeah.
So he's decided to become a character actor part-time in his 60s, and it's really interesting. And I feel like The Post doesn't do anything interesting with it, but, you know, it's worth noting.
Like, he's such a surefire banger as a number 2.
Yeah. Like, you get more out of him as a number 2 than you do as a number 1. He's going to come up a good bit on this podcast because we're going to do Philadelphia soon. We're going to do other films where he's sharing with somebody else. Because I feel like in stuff like Philadelphia and this, and in Saving Mr. Banks, when he doesn't have to carry the plot, he gets to just have a lot of... And Elvis, he gets to have so much fun.
Yeah.
Like,
where do Captain Phillips and Sully come along this timeline? What year were they?
so Captain Phillips is 2013, same year as Saving Mr. Banks.
Okay.
And then Sully is 2016.
Yeah.
So it's just before this. And those are obviously 2 bangers where he plays captains. And then he does Greyhound, where he also plays the sea captain. So there's been 3 captain movies from Mr. Hanks.
He loves his, like, retelling of American
He
feel-good stories.
He certainly does.
Do you have any finances here in terms of cast salaries?
Cast salaries, interesting. I don't know if I'll be able to get my hands on that. Let me have a look.
I'll have a look up and see what their agents are.
How much were they paid? Were they paid the same? So they were asked in an interview by a journalist if they were paid the same.
Yes.
So this film came out the same Oscar season as All the Money in the World. And do you remember that when Spacey got replaced with Christopher Plummer, they went back and reshot stuff, and they paid Wahlberg way more than they paid Michelle Williams? And people found out, and it became a big scandal that she wasn't getting paid more, even though she had a bigger role. So they were asked if they were paid the same for their work, and Hanks said, "That's a good question. Quite frankly, I don't know how much I got paid." And then Streep said, "I got more than him," joking, and laughed. And then she said, "I actually don't know whether we have been paid the same." So
interesting.
I don't think that I believe that they don't know what they were paid. Like,
yeah,
I believe it. Like, I don't think that they care one bit.
No, they don't
get
sit
paid
in on these contract negotiations
I think
anymore.
that Brad Pitt is the kind of person who cares what he gets, and I think DiCaprio cares what he gets paid for the film. I don't think that they give a shit.
Like, the fact that Tom is dropping down into, like, secondary roles means he's just, like, there for the fun.
Yeah, I think that Tom is 100% like, I'm doing the film. I'm obviously going to make the film with Spielberg. And his agent is like, well, Tom's obviously going to do it. Yeah. So when it gets to negotiating with Fox, they could probably be like, we'll give you $4 million, and his agent is probably like, yeah, fine, whatever. I can't imagine that they're like fighting tooth and nail for money for him on a film that he's going to insist on being in no matter what, especially if he feels there's a political reason to make it immediately.
Is Tom Hanks a contributor to the Democratic Party in any sense? Does he campaign?
He's a general Democrat of some kind, I believe. Yes. He took part in the Biden inauguration TV special, and the fact that he does that sort of stuff is probably why his name gets thrown out by crazy people as like, he's an Epstein, he's a QAnon, he drinks children's blood, because he probably has been hung out with the Clintons and such.
Tom Cruise is a CAA client.
You're looking up Tom Cruise's agent?
Yeah.
Why Tom Cruise?
Sorry, Tom Hanks. Did I say Tom Cruise?
Who's his agent?
Richard Lovett.
Ah, Richard Lovett. Love it
Dick
or leave it, huh?
Dick Lovett.
Lovett clients.
Other clients include Julia Roberts,
Will Smith,
Michael Mann,
Sacha Baron Cohen, and J.J. Abrams. Sounds like a wealthy man.
Indeed.
I wonder, does he also represent Will Smith's children and J.J. Abrams' daughter?
Ron Howard, Billy Crystal.
The boring people.
Sure, they're
dull.
They are quite a specific type.
Yes, they're like Ron Howard, Billy Crystal, Tom Hanks, J.J. Abrams all fall into the same category.
Yeah, like Julia Roberts and Tom Hanks are like kind of the same.
They're kind of the same actor. I think Sacha Baron Cohen is the one who stands out there. I mean, I know,
but then he's doing stuff like Trial of Chicago 7, and that
and
like
shit, yeah,
that kind of checks out.
Right. Anything else to say about the post? Who won the movie? I don't really think either of them do. The best performance in the film. What is the best performance in the film? I think it's
Bob Odenkirk?
I think it's Odenkirk, just by default.
Yeah. I think David Cross won by
being in
the
it.
fact
You're
that
just
he
like,
got so many lines.
Yes, you're like, fair play, you're in it. Like,
Zach
Woods gets some fun lines. Carrie Coon gets a big final moment, but she doesn't really register. As I said, if you didn't know who she was beforehand, you wouldn't remember her. I think that Odenkirk is the best combination of great actor, decent part.
Yeah. Like, he does the fun stuff. He does the sneaking around.
Exactly.
And
I think Streep and Hanks' roles just aren't that exciting.
Yeah, there's...
Unfortunately. Michael Stuhlbarg's role fucking sucks.
Yeah, because Jessie Plemons... Let's not talk about him.
Ugh, fuck's sake.
Yeah, like, at least there's a bit of... Like, Bob Odenkirk is a character who, like, will go to jail if he gets caught.
Yeah. So, he's stressed out.
It's kind of the most high stakes role,
Yeah.
and he does it very well.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Time for our 2 games now.
Yep.
Number 1, we're going to do the credits game.
Oh, I'm going to be bad at this.
Everyone,
All right,
this is, I've picked a movie
Yeah.
featuring one of the stars of the post.
Yeah.
So it's either Tom Hanks or Meryl Streep. I am going to list the cast of this film from bottom to top according to Letterboxd, and Shane is going to have to guess. He gets 3 wrong guesses before I tell him the answer.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like me to tell you the year or not?
I think with this one, I'll need more help.
Okay.
So, yeah, give me the year.
2004.
Okay.
Okay, let's go. Rick Heinrichs, Gilbert Gottfried, Francois Duhamel, Julius Callahan, Amy Brenneman from The Leftovers, Helena Bonham Carter,
Okay.
Jean-Marie Bjorg, Wayne Fleming, John Dexter, Lenny Clark, Bob Clendenin, Cedric the Entertainer.
Okay, we'll pause here for a second.
Yeah. I didn't know Amy Brenneman was in this. That's crazy. I also didn't.
She plays Laurie?
Yeah, she plays the wife. The
Yes.
ex-wife. I also didn't know Helena Bonham Carter was in this. What the fuck?
Okay.
Don't pay too much attention to that. Those are like people I didn't know were in this.
Okay.
I've seen this a bunch of times.
Go on, keep going.
Cedric the Entertainer, Catherine O'Hara, Jamie Harris, Craig Ferguson, Jane Addams, Jennifer Coolidge.
Right, okay.
I'll keep going.
Yeah.
Louise Guzman, Billy Connolly, Timothy Spall.
Okay, we'll stall it there for a second.
We'll Spall the ball.
We'll spall the ball. Is this something that's like set in England? Is it
No.
like an English film?
No,
Okay. Billy Connolly.
it's not set in England.
Billy Connolly and Timothy Spall.
It's not really set anywhere.
All right, keep her going.
Okay, Timothy Spall, Shelby Hoffman, Cara Hoffman, Jude Law. There's 4 names left.
Jude Law in 2004.
Yeah, there are 4 names left. Jude Law in 2004 doesn't really limit it down. He was in about 8 movies that year.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was thinking. Everyone was just in all the films in 2004.
Yeah, it's the greatest year for cinema ever.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about the 4 Ben Stiller films that.
Yeah.
See, I have to figure out if this is a Streep or a Hanks.
Oh, right. Well, you'll find out in a sec.
Give me one more name.
Meryl Streep.
Okay.
3 more names to go.
Give me one more.
Liam Aiken.
That gives me nothing.
Hmm?
That does nothing for me.
Yeah. Okay. A clue is that this is a film that I love and have seen like 20 times. Like 10 times. Big favorite of mine.
It's not Talented Mr. Ripley. It's not.
Nope.
A Jude Law favorite.
I saw this in the cinema when it came out.
So you would have said.
That should help. Yeah, that should help.
Fuck. Would I know the director if you told me?
No.
Oh, really?
The director is Brad Silberling.
Oh, fuck. Okay. This is one of your favorites.
Yeah.
Have I seen it?
I don't know.
Okay.
Probably seen it on
So you haven't like put on The House in the Last?
No, I'd say you've seen it, bits of it on TV over the years.
Give me another name.
Emily Browning.
Okay, that does.
There's one more name to go.
It's Tom Hanks.
No, it's not Tom Hanks. We've done Meryl Streep.
I think if you give me the full cast, I don't think I'll get it. Go on, give me the
Final
last.
name is Jim Carrey.
Oh.
You still don't have it.
Okay, so what did Jim Carrey do in this year?
2 things, both of which are 5-star films.
It's not Eternal Sunshine.
Nope, it's the other one. that I saw in the cinema when I was 7.
Not the Truman Show.
No, you have the full cast and you can't get it, Matt.
Jim Carrey. What else did he do? Yes Man this year?
Nope. This is a film I went to see when I was 7.
It's not The Mask.
Nope. Meryl Streep, Jude Law, Timothy Spall, Emily Browning,
Jim Carrey.
Louise Guzman, Catherine O'Hara, Jennifer Coolidge.
Is he happy in this?
Nope.
The other one.
He's very scary and nasty in this. I tell you?
No. The Grinch.
No. Will I tell you?
Yeah.
Lemony Snicket's A Series of Unfortunate Events.
Okay. I don't think I would have got that.
Have you seen it?
No.
Oh, it's such a great film.
Sorry. Okay. I don't feel bad about getting that, but that makes complete sense now that you say it.
Well, Meryl Streep plays Aunt Josephine, who lives up on the cliff and is terrified of windows.
Okay.
Box office.
Okay. Box office game. This is a weird one because it seemed to get a limited release first.
It did, yeah.
So it only opened on 9 screens.
Yeah, that's okay.
And had over 500,000. So that's not bad.
This is Christmas.
Christmas, 22nd of December.
Very good.
What was number 1 at this time?
Star Wars Last Jedi.
Was indeed.
Yeah. Easy one.
Yeah. Next up.
Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle.
Spot on.
Yeah. I can't help it. I know this month very well.
Is that the second one?
That's the first one.
First one.
Second one is The Next Level, and that came out exactly 2 years later, 2019.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you know what's next? Another new film this week?
Another new film this week. The Greatest Showman.
Close.
Fuck.
That's number 4.
Right. Animated?
No.
Oscar-y?
No.
Action-y?
No. There's one key thing that The Greatest Showman and this have in common.
It's musical.
Yeah, I guess you could call it a musical.
Hugh Jackman's in it.
No.
Zendaya's in it.
No, it's the musical.
Oh, it is a musical.
It's the music element, yeah.
And it came out at the end of 2017. Yeah. Is it good? Do I like it?
No, it wouldn't be your thing, but
wouldn't be my thing, but it's musical. It's not animated.
Sorry, there's some very, very fun fact.
What?
In terms of, this has a great box office statistic at some point.
And it's not The Greatest Showman.
No.
But it has a great box office statistic. What?
There's some incredible fact about the box office of this.
And it's a musical.
No, I wouldn't call it a musical.
You wouldn't call it a musical?
No, it's not a musical. It's a movie about music.
It's a movie about music. Is it based on a true story?
No.
So it's a fictional film about people making music.
Yeah.
Right. Jesus. I don't know. I need another clue.
I'm trying to not give it away.
Yeah.
It's a sequel.
It's a sequel. It's not. Is it Alvin and the Chipmunks? Something?
No, but you're getting closer, I guess.
Trolls? No, it's animated, but it's something in the Alvin and the Chipmunks kind of space. Shit. But you said it wouldn't be my thing.
Okay, let's see what your Letterboxd review says.
I have seen it.
We might. Yeah, you've seen it. You give it 3 stars.
Okay. I gave it 3 stars.
The last line of your review says, "No major complaints." You last watched this in April 23.
Oh. I watched it in April 2023.
Mm-hmm.
And I gave it 3 stars and I said no major complaints.
Yeah.
Jesus. So it's not animated. It's about music. It's not Alvin and the Chipmunks. It's for children.
Children like it, but it's not for
would
children.
Like it. There's the main character in it, an adult.
Yeah.
An adult actor.
It's all adults, yeah.
All adults. Famous people.
Yeah.
A famous star.
Oh, there's so many names in this.
There's so many names in this.
Nobody in this is famous enough to do a boy party episode on. But
yeah.
I know the 10 people in this.
And it's not like Paddington 2 or something.
No.
It's American.
Yeah.
Oh, Christ.
There is an older character in this that shares a name with your dad. The character name is called Fergus.
I have no idea what film would have a Fergus in it.
Yeah.
I don't know. You're going to be an actor.
Okay.
I just don't know.
John Michael Higgins appears in it.
John Michael Higgins is in it. Pitch Perfect 3.
Pitch Perfect 3.
Phew! Whew! Got that one off my chest. Okay.
Fergus is played by John Lithgow.
Yeah. He plays Rebel Wilson's nasty Australian father.
Yeah.
I did watch that last year. It was fine.
Something you can't deny in these movies are one thing you can't deny is these movies are one of the most specific time capsules of shifts in women's fashion from 2012 to 2017.
Absolutely.
This is an incredible, breezy 90 minutes that feels like 55 minutes. The singing scenes are all a bit shit, but I'll allow it.
Yeah.
Let's go as weird casting, but pretty good.
Yeah.
No major complaints.
That's all correct.
Yeah.
I agree.
What was the fun box office statistic where like the second one...
The second one made more in its opening weekend than the first one did in its entire run.
Yes, that's it.
And it came out the same weekend as Mad Max Fury Road.
Yeah.
That's which is always a fun thing to think about.
Yeah.
Because we literally went to see that and your sister went to see Pitch Perfect too.
Oh, she
there was a literal...
Yeah, this is like the weekend we hung out for. No,
Yeah.
it's not.
It kind of was.
Oh, Pitch Perfect 2, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, that was 2015.
Yeah.
Cool. Good stuff. Great. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Wait, are there anything else?
We're at number 3.
Well, Greatest Showman's number 4.
Yeah.
Which is a fucking Bollywood movie for white people.
Sure.
My new take.
Next up, we have 2 like weirdly similar films.
Right. Animated?
In my head. Yeah, they both like seem to have some sort of Spanish influence to them.
Okay. Coco, Book of Life.
Coco is correct, but the other one is not.
What? The other one's not the Book of Life.
Nope.
Book of Life is very similar.
Book of Life isn't here at all.
What? Yeah, that's probably the year before. Another one with Spanish influence.
Yeah.
For children.
Yeah.
Animated.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's the one where John Cena plays the bull.
It's Ferdinand.
Ferdinand. You know what song is in the trailer for Ferdinand?
Oh, fuck. What is it?
I'm on my way driving.
Oh, yes, it is.
16.
Ferdinand the Bull, the book from The Blind Side.
I miss the way you make me feel. I'll never forget that trailer had Castle on the Hill in it.
Yeah.
There's just something funny about watching an animated bull run around.
That
cheered
hyped you up. I bet you loved that at the time. I feel
the trailer?
Yeah.
I thought it was great. If I go to the cinema and they give me 2 minutes of Ed Sheeran, that is the perfect amount of Ed Sheeran that I want to consume.
Then never again.
Never again. Speaking of yesterday. Yeah.
Okay, we'll do one more.
Yeah.
This might be a fun one to talk about. This is a new film this week.
Mm-hmm.
Opened in 2,600 screens.
Wonderful.
And this director, I believe, is relevant this year.
Relevant this year? Why?
Yeah.
In consideration for Oscars?
Yeah.
Is it Mrs. Gerwig?
No.
Is it Mr. Nolan?
No.
Is it Mr. Jonathan Glazer? I don't know.
No.
Is it Mr. Scorsese? No.
Nope.
He didn't have a film this year. Is it Mr. I'm not even thinking of what this could be.
Okay, I'm going to read the last line of your review
Great.
on Letterboxd.
Perfect. Always a good way to do it.
Was very glad when it was over, especially since insert actor I like's name here didn't show up as I had expected.
Is it like an Oscar-y film?
Probably was intended to be, but like could be a This Is Oscar buzz kind of film.
And it's a director who is up for Oscars this year.
Yeah.
And that director is a man?
Yeah.
And that director is not Scorsese or Nolan. Alexander Payne. Downsizing. Alec Baldwin wasn't in it.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Did you think he was going to be?
Yeah.
Why?
Because he got recast with Christoph Waltz, but I never realized that that's what happened.
Right.
I thought that he was still in it, but in fact they had replaced him with Christoph Waltz.
Yeah.
That film's very tough to get through. I'd like to revisit it.
You haven't watched it since 2018.
No, it's a climate change movie. Like,
yeah,
it was pretending to be. It was a This Had Oscar Buzz episode. It was pretending.
Oh, it was.
Yeah, it was pretending to be like a goofy comedy. Oh, the guy shrinks down so small, but it's actually like a depressing film about climate change that ravages the third world.
Yeah,
I don't like secret propaganda films, secret message films.
Can't trust Matt Damon.
Yeah. Anyway. That's it, everybody.
Yep, shit out.
That's the end of this episode of Boy Party. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you save yourself sitting through the post by listening to this. Mm-hmm. And we will be back next week with another exciting episode, film to be revealed. You can follow the show Boy Party Pod on Twitter, Boy Party Pod on Instant Grandma. Mm-hmm. And thank you, Shane. And we'll see you all next time. Goodbye.
Goodbye.